Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. In this video I'd like to show you how to do one of the squares that's part of the Demelza blanket. This square is referred to as flat flower number 2 in the original pattern. Demelza has been designed by Catherine Bly, and I'll show you all the steps involved for making this square. The yarn that I'm using for my square is Scheepjes stonewashed yarn and a 3.5mm crochet hook. I've made my square in 2 color variations. You're going to have to do 8 squares in total for this pattern, so you're making 4 of these and 4 of these if you're following my colorway, or you're doing 8 in total if you follow the original colorway that's set in the pattern. Like I said, I'll take you step by step through the rounds making up this square. I hope it's a useful video for you, and thank you for watching. Round 1, I'm going to start with a magic ring. Again, crossing over, pick up, pull through. For the first round we're going to do 8 single crochets in the magic ring. Start with a chain 1. That does not count as a stitch. It's just to get you to the correct height, and now work 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this here is number 8. Let's close the rings by pulling on this yarn tail. Close the ring. It's all still a bit small and fiddly, I know that. And then on the first single crochet, so not the chain one, that's over there, that single crochet, you close on there with a slip stitch. Like so. And that completes round 1. Round 2, I'm going to work 2 double crochets in every stitch and chain 2s in between. My first stitch, chain 2, this is for my double crochet. You can also do chain 3 here. I'm going to do a chain 2, then I'm going to close on this stitch with an invisible join at the end. Then in the same stitch, so you already have that slip stitch join in there, do a double crochet in the same position. Chain 2, and then in the next stitch work 2 double crochets. So that's 1 and 2. And this you're going to do all the way around. So chain 2 and then 2 double crochets in the same stitch. And towards the end I'm going to do a chain 2 and then close with an invisible join. And usually I do my invisible joins with the hook, but because it's on a a chain stitch before the double crochet that you want to close to, I find it easier to do that with a needle, because those chain stitches are just a little fiddly otherwise to close in there with the hook. I'm sure with more practice I'll be better at it, but it just doesn't happen that often that you have chain stitches and then closing with an invisible join. So what I'm doing is I'm working 2 double crochets in every stitch and chain 2s in between. So your work will be just a little bit wobbly because you've got just a few too many stitches in here. Don't worry about that. That will all be fine in the end. Chain 2, and then this here is my last stitch. I'm going to work 2 double crochets in there. So chain 2, and now I need to close on this first stitch with an invisible join. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my yarn. I'm going to open up this chain 2 and then just pick up with the needle. There we go. To close, you got here the chain 2. You're not going to be working in that. You go to the double crochet, insert your needle underneath those double crochet stitch. Now I'm going to come back and insert my needle in this stitch from the second chain stitch. So this last one, I'm going to insert my needle into there. And this is the reason why I'm doing this with a needle and not the hook, because that chain is just otherwise a little bit fiddly. Oh, there we go. And you can see that is the invisible join that you've just made. That is you've made the hat on the chain 2. Now I've got this thread here, I've got it on the needle, so I'm just going to work it in now. And that then completes round 2. Round 3, new color yarn. I'm going to attach with a slip stitch. If you want to, you can also use a standing stitch. I'm using a slip stitch because then it's easier for me to do a very neat invisible join. I'm going to start in any chain 2 position, doesn't matter which one you start. I'm going to do this one and attach my yarn. In here, going to work 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So my first double crochet is again at chain 2. I'm going to complete this with the invisible join at the end. Then a second double crochet and a third, chain 2, and in the same space, I'm just going to move it up a bit, work 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, like so. Going to skip the double crochets and move on to the next chain 2 space, that space there. And there you're going to work a single crochet, chain 2, and another single crochet. And this is what you're going to repeat all the way round. So in the next one, again 3 double crochets. So you're only working in the chain spaces in this round. 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then work 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Skipping the stitches here. In the chain 2 space, work a single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. And what you're hearing in the background is my cat that's playing with a toy. You've now done the repeat 2 times. Do it 2 more times, and then after you've done this last single crochet, I'll just show you how to do that invisible join. So I've just worked that last single crochet. To cut my yarn, open up this thread, then to close with an invisible join, I've got the chain 2 here and the double crochet next to it. In that double crochet, pick up the yarn and pull through. It's first half of the stitch. You can see there's the first half, so I'm now going to do the second half. I usually do is I turn my work around and then through the back loop of the single crochet, so that's the last stitch worked, pull the yarn through again. Then if you look from the front, you can just fashion this a little bit. You see that there is the invisible join you just made. I'm going to work over this thread in the next round. That completes round 3. Round 4 is reasonably similar to round 3. Going to start in a chain 2 space that's between the single crochet, so that one or this one or that one or that one. I can just pick any one of these points. So within the single crochet chain 2 space, I'm going to pick up my yarn like so. In this space you're going to work 5 double crochets, chain 2 and 5 double crochets, all in the same space, so it's going to be a little bit of a tight squeeze. Again, my first double crochet is a chain 2. You can also choose to do a chain 3 here or do a standing double crochet, that's up to you. Then 4 more double crochets in the same space. It's 1, 2, 3 and 4, and with a chain 2 here, that's of course 5. Chain 2, and now we're going to have to work 5 more in here, and I'm just really going to have to squish them in there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. There we go. So you've got 10 double crochets there in total, so that's 5, chain 2 and 5 more double crochets. You're now going to skip all the stitches and go to your next chain 2 space. In your next chain 2 space, going to work a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then a single crochet again. Like so. And this is your repeat unit, going to do that all the way round. I'll show you again. So skipping all these stitches, go to your next chain 2 space, and in there, I'm just taking that thread with me again, with 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, and number 5 double crochets, chain 2, and then 5 more double crochets. And it is a tight squeeze, I realize this. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And there we go. Skipping all the stitches, go to your next chain 2 space, and at this point I've got 2 threads I'm taking with me. This single crochet, chain 3, and a single crochet. So now I've done the repeat 2 times, need to do it 2 more times, so for these 2 points. And then after that last single crochet, again close with an invisible join on this top of your chain 2 in this case. So I'm going to do exactly the same join as you did at the end of the last round. So I'm not going to show you how to do that because I know by this time you know how that works. So repeat what you've just done 2 more times and close with an invisible join. Round 5, again similar in nature to the previous 2 rounds. New color yarn. I'm going to start in any chain 3 space between the single crochets. So in that chain 3 space, and there you're again going to work 5 double crochets, chain 2 and 5 double crochets in that same space. I'm going to attach here again with a slip stitch. If you prefer, you can do a standing stitch. Chain 2 for my first double crochet and then do 4 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is number 5. Chain 2. Let me just move everything a little bit here, and then squish 5 more double crochets in there. But considering you've already managed to do that in a chain 2 space, in a chain 3 space should be easier, right? Well, not always, but just squish them all in there. 1 more. Next, let me just double check. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So then 5 double crochets, chain 2, and 5 more double crochets in that chain 3 space. We're now not going to go immediately to the next chain 2 space. We're first going to work a single crochet, and we're going to work it in the third of these 5 double crochets you have here. So right in the center stitch. So you're skipping the first 1, 2 double crochets, and in the third one here work a single crochet. Like so. Now again, skipping the last 2 double crochets, we're going to go to the chain 2 space, that one there, and in there you're going to work 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. It's 1, 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Again, going to skip 2 double crochets, and then in the center one of these 5 work a single crochet. So it's exactly the same as that side. So you want to make a mirror image here. So we're skipping the first 2, and then in the third one, the center one, work a single crochet. And there we go. And that's your repeat unit that you're going to do all the way round. So we're going to go to the next chain 3 space. It's this one here, and work 5 double crochets in there, chain 2, and 5 more double crochets. It's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Get a bit more yarn. There we go. 5, chain 2, and then 5 more double crochets. You can just see my invisible join that's opening up here. Not too worried about that. When I work the next stitch, I'll close that. It's 2, 3, 4. Oops, 4 and 5. There we go. So 5 double crochets, chain 2, 5 double crochets in that chain 3 space. Now again, skipping 2 stitches, then in the center one, so that number 3 of the 5, to work a single crochet. And I'm just going to pull my invisible join close. So that's going to be that thread there. So that's skipping 1, 2 stitches, then in number 3, and if it's easier you could also consider counting from the chain 2 space and just count back 1, 2, and then the 3, because your stitches are falling over here, they're toppling over these first 2, so that could be a little hard to see exactly what's what there. So if counting back is easier for you, that's perfect. Single crochet, then in the chain 2 space work 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. So for this round you want to make sure that you're working 3 and 5, and then again 3 and 5 double crochets at a time. So you're not have 2 groups of 3 next to one another or 2 groups of 5, so that you have the shells in alternating order, because this is an easy mistake to make here. So 1, 2 skip, and then again a single crochet. And now I've done the repeat 2 times. Need to do 2 more times and then close again. After your last single crochet, you're going to do a single crochet here and then close on that first stitch. You can do an invisible join, but if you prefer, of course, also a slip stitch. And especially be mindful you're doing 5 double crochet shell and then a 3 double crochet, and then again a 5 double and then a 3 double. So make sure you're doing alternating shells. Round 6, going to start in a single crochet that's before the cluster with the 3 double crochets. So if you've got this single crochet here, that's the one you want. You don't want this one here, which is before a 5 double crochets. So you want this one before the 3. And again, you can start in any position. I'm going to attach my yarn like so in that single crochet. In this stitch, you're going to work 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. So my first one is again a chain 2, and then if I can, there we go, 2 more double crochets and 2, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets. Gives you a total of 6 double crochets in this stitch. Like so. Going to continue. I'm going to skip the first 2 double crochets you're going to skip, and then the next one, that double crochet there, you're going to work a back post single crochet around that stitch. So around this stitch, the last one before the chain space, work a back post single crochet. Skipping the chain 2 space on the first double crochet, again work a back post single crochet. Like so. So you've worked 2 stitches, so the first and the last stitch you've worked a back post single crochet around them. You can see here how you're bringing this little tip together. Like so. You've got 2 more double crochets, again skip those, and then in this single crochet again work 3 double crochets, chain 2, sorry, and 3 more double crochets. Oh, my voice is just slightly falling away. So again, 1, 2, and 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. It's 1, 2, and 3, like so. We're now again going to be skipping a few stitches. We're going to skip 3 double crochets because you've got 5 here, so the first 3 we're going to skip, and then in numbers 4 and 5 going to work a single crochet. So the last 2 work a single crochet in those. 1 and 2. This time we are going to work in the chain space. work a single crochet, chain 4, so you're really going to make a little loop here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and work another single crochet in the same space. On the next 2 double crochets, work a single crochet on each, especially this first one. Be mindful that's the stitch there. So 1, and on the next one 2. Skipping the last 3 double crochets, go onto the single crochet here and work 3 double crochets in there, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And there we go. And this one, this cluster here, is exactly the same as that one. So this here you're going to repeat all the way around, and after your last single crochet, close on this stitch with an invisible join. So go all the way around. Be mindful when you're doing a back post single crochet, that's when you have a 3 double crochet cluster, and you're working regular single crochets and of course the chain 4 loop on your 5 double crochet clusters. So this is your repeat unit. Do it all the way around and close on your first stitch with an invisible join. Round 7. In this round we're going to be squaring up the flower motif that we've made in the past few rounds. I'm going to start in any chain 4 space. So I'm going to take this chain 4 and attach my yarn. Chain 2, again my first double crochet. Going to do in this corner, do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. Chain 2, and then 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. On the next 3 stitches, those 3 double crochets, going to work those 3 single crochets, going to work a double crochet on each. So 1, 2, 3. We're now going to move on to this cluster here. We're going to skip the first stitch, and then on stitch numbers 2 and 3 work a back post half double crochet. So the first one we're skipping, and then around the post of the second work a back post, oops, that goes wrong, back post half double. It's 1, and then also a second one, like so. As you can see, you've skipped that first one, and then around 2 and 3 you work a back post half double. Going to skip the chain 2 space and then work a back post half double on the next 3. So on all 3 of these you work a back post stitch. And if you're hearing something outside, there's just there's a big truck outside that's cleaning the sewer system. It's making quite some racket, so I hope it doesn't disturb you. There we go. 3 back post half double crochets, and you've left that chain 2 space, you've left that undone. What we're now going to do is we're going to skip the single crochet here, but we're going to go into the chain 2 space. That's this space here from what was this, 2 rows down. So this purple chain 2 space, going to work a single crochet in that space. So this was from round 5, I believe. Single crochet, like so. Again, so you've still got the single crochet there at the back. You're going to skip that and then work 3 half doubles on these 3 double crochets here, back post again. So that's 1, 2, and there we go, 3. Like so. So you can see how it's symmetrical here. So it won't surprise you, we're going to skip the chain 2 and then on the first 2 double crochets again work a back post half double. So on the first one and then on the second one. The last one here, that double crochet, you're going to leave that undone and then come on the single crochets and work 3 double crochets on there. So that's 1, 2, and 3. The chain 4 space, work on your corner. That'll be 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets. Oops, that's 2, and then that is 3. And then this point is exactly the same as that point. So everything we've just done, I'm going to do this on all 4 edges. When you get to your first stitch, you'll of course close on that with an invisible join. So what's important to note here is that here you're skipping this last double crochet and you're skipping the first one there. Back here you're skipping the single crochets and you work a single crochet in the chain space from round 5. So do this 3 more times. Round 8. Going to start in any corner space and we're going to work 3 half doubles in the corner. To attach my yarn, do a chain 2 for my first stitch and then 2 more half doubles. Can again also do a standing half double for that first stitch. Going to continue and work half doubles on the next 7 stitches. And this is the first one. Be sure not to miss that first one. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then number 7 here. That is number 7, like so. What you're now going to do is we're going to skip the next stitch. That's going to be this stitch here. That's the, you see you've got the 2 half doubles. I've just worked on the first one. You're going to skip the second one. Then in the chain space from 2 rows down, you're going to work a single crochet. And then you're going to again skip the stitch back here and this is the next one we'll be working in. So what you're effectively doing here to the back is just skipping the next 2 half doubles, but instead you're going to work a single crochet in the loop, and then we're going to continue here to the back. So in this space, in that chain space from the flower, pick up and work a single crochet in that space. We're going to work 5 single crochets on the next stitches, and like I say, if it's hard for you to figure out exactly which stitches you should skip here to the back, consider this single crochet here as a center point. You want to work 2 stitches forward, so that's 2, then 1, and again 2, because we're going to work 5, and that may just be the best way to figure out exactly where you want to work your stitches. So what you've done here to the back is you've skipped in total 2 stitches, but in essence you're working 5 single crochets centered around the single crochet there. That's 2. Then the third one is of course in the single crochet you used to catch the previous flower loop, because it's nicely symmetrical. And this here is number 5. Now you're going to do the same on the second flower petal as you've done here on the first. So we're again going to catch this loop, work a single crochet in it, and here to the back we're going to skip 2 stitches. So these 2 you're going to skip and going to work a single crochet in there. Like so. And now this side you're going to work 7 half doubles just like you did on that side. And again, if it's hard for you to see exactly which stitches you're skipping, you're going to skip those 2 and start in this one. But if that's hard for you, count back from your corner, count 7 stitches back. That will give you the same result. You can see here to the back I'm skipping those 2 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then number 7 is on the last stitch. And there we go. In the corner work 3 half doubles, so that's 1, 2, and 3. And now you're at the same point you are where we started. So everything you've just done going to work on all the next 3 edges also. And when you get to your first stitch here, you work that last half double, then close on that chain 2 with a invisible join. Round 9, going to start in the corner. If you look here at your corner, you have 3 half doubles in there. You're going for the second one, so the corner stitch itself, so that second half double. I'm going to attach my yarn in that stitch, and we're going to make a new corner here. I'm going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. So my first one is a chain 2, followed by a second double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. So 1 and 2. That's your new corner made. We're going to skip the first half double. It's going to be this one here. Going to skip that stitch, and then we're going to work 9 half doubles. So we're going to work double crochets, but it's going to skip the first half double, and then in the second one, just taking the thread with me, work a double crochet. So we're going to work 9, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oops, again, 7, 8, and number 9, like so. What we're now going to do is going to come back and we're going to work a front post treble around this single crochet that you caught this petal with. So around that single crochet we're going to work a front post treble, so it's twice over, and then around that stitch, so around that single crochet work a front post treble, 2 and 3. So you can see how you're creating a diagonal line here. I'm going to skip a stitch to the back here, so we're going to skip the next stitch, that's going to be that one, and then we're going to work 2 double crochets. See how I'm skipping that stitch there, and then work 1, 2 double crochets. Now I'm going to do the same on this side. You're again going to work a front post treble exactly like here. It's twice over, and then around the post of that single crochet from the front work a treble. You're again going to skip a stitch, so it's going to be this stitch here. You're going to skip, and then you're going to work a double crochet again. But in this situation you've got to be a little careful, because the stitch that you're skipping is this one here, and this is the one, and you're going to work in that stitch, but this is also the stitch that you just worked the front post treble in. So you might be tempted to accidentally skip 2 stitches and only start working here. So be aware that the stitch you're now working is also in the single crochet that you've just worked the treble around. So be mindful that you don't accidentally skip 2 stitches there. So this is the first double crochet, and you're again going to work 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and number 9 should be on the first of the 3 half doubles that's in the corner. Then on that second half double, going to work a new corner. It's going to be 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. There we go. It's 1 and 2. And then this corner is exactly the same as that corner. So everything you've just done, you're again going to go through it on all 3 edges. Especially here, these front post trebles, be sure to work them around the single crochets that you use to catch the flower petals, and be mindful of skipping 1 stitch to the back. And especially on this side, remember that first double crochet is also in the single crochet that you made the front post treble around. So you're now going to continue here, skipping that first stitch, working 9 double crochets, and etc, etc. Go all the way around, and after this last double crochet here and that last stitch, close with a invisible join. Round 10, and this round is a very straightforward round. Going to work 3 single crochets in the corner, and then going to work 1 single crochet on every stitch. So that's what we're doing this round. So I'll just get you started. You can attach my yarn again. I'm going to do chain 1 for the single crochet, and I'm going to finish that stitch with the invisible join at the end, and then work 2 more in the corner. So that's 3 single crochets in the corner. I'm just going to move this a bit. So that's my first stitch there. Work over my thread, and then work 1 on every stitch. So this round is nice and relaxing. Work a single crochet on every stitch. When you get to a chain 2 corner, work 3 single crochets in the corner. Go all the way around, and when you get to the beginning, I'm just going to do an invisible join on the first stitch. Round 11, last round of this square. Going to start in a corner. If you have the 3 single crochets in the corner, going to start in the second one. So that's the actual corner stitch. And in that corner, going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Chain 2 for my first double crochet, just as I've done many times before. Then a second double crochet, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets. So 1 and 2. There we go. That's your corner made. We're now going to work 14 double crochets. So immediately on the next stitch is the first one already. Going to work 14. That's 1, 2, 3, and 1 more, that is 14. And there we go. So I've now worked 14 double crochets. We're going to work a double crochet together, no sorry, a front post treble 2 together. We're going to work them around the posts, around these 2 front posts you already have here. So we're going to work the first leg on the post to the left, that's this one, and the second leg we're going to work around the post on the right. So a treble 2 together, front post. So we're going to do twice over, that's for the treble, then go to the one here that's on the left. If you're left-handed, it will be the one that's on the right, so the one that's furthest away from you. Pick up the loop, and now we're going to do the first part only. So let's take off 2 loops, take off two loops. Oh dear, let me just do that again. So we're going to leave the last loop unworked, so that's 1, 2. Like so, you've got 2 loops on your hook. Now we're going to come on this side, so again, twice over for the treble. And now you're really going to have to fold your work, because you still want to go right to left around that post. Pick up the loop, and then take off 2 loops, take off 2 loops. At this point you have 3 loops on your hook. Take them all off in one go. And now you've worked that treble 2 together. Going to skip a stitch to the back. If you see where you are right now, let me just cut this little thread here, because then you can just see more easily what I'm doing. So that's the last stitch worked. Going to skip this stitch, and then going to continue in that one. See, skipping 1 stitch there, and this is again the first double crochet, but this time of 13. So that's 1, 2, going to work 13, 3, 12, number 13 is on the first of the 3 single crochets in the corner. Then in the second one, I'm going to make a new corner. It's going to be 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. That's 1 and 2. And then this corner is of course exactly the same as that corner. So then I'd say do that 3 more times. So again, work 14 double crochets, then work this treble 2 together around the posts from 2 rows down. Remember, first do the one on the far side and then the one that's closest to you. So for me, that's first the one on the left and then the one on the right. Then indeed skipping that stitch to the back, that's because you want this stitch to have a position also, you don't want to increase. And then work 13 more double crochets. Go all the way around. When you get to your first stitch here, close with an invisible join, and then you're all done for this week. When you've worked away all your last yarn tails at the back, your square looks like this. It's still a little wonky and wobbly, you see the curling edges, so take a moment to block your square just to get it nice and straight. For this week you need to make 8 of these. I've done 2 different color combinations, so I've done this one and I've done this one. This square is also not blocked, you can see how wobbly it is, so really do that because your squares will become nice and crisp. But I've done 2 color variations for this week, so I'm making 4 of these and I'm making 4 of these. So either way, it doesn't matter which color combinations you're making, make 8 of these squares. When you're done, block them and then you're ready for the next part of the blanket. But thank you for watching. I hope it was a useful video for you, and I hope to see you again next time.